Hey YouTubers, welcome! I'm Aldonis, leader of the Wolf Pack, and we'd love to invite you to join us on an adventure in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. We played the Stanley Parable earlier this year, and it was a lot of fun. This is basically like it's not quite a sequel. It's kind of like an upgrade. It's interesting, but uh it is again hilarious because you have a choice to either follow everything that the narrator tells you to do, or you have a choice to fight the narrator, and things get crazy and weird and funny and hilarious. So it's a great game. It's just going to be a lot of fun. If you'd like to be a part of the pack, make sure to like and subscribe. But for now, let's have a wholesome time in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. All right. Please enter the current time. All right. We are at... Oh, nope, not that way. So here on the West Coast Pacific time, it is 10:10. So let's confirm that. And then let's get the tunes off and get the game sound on. Hang on, hang on. Before we get started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you've booted up the game. Well, yeah, I booted it up once because I was trying to make sure it actually worked with stream. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see this screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. This is exactly what I was talking about. This game is just hilarious. The other great thing about this is that it totally breaks the fourth wall with everything. It's hilarious. So, without further ado, let's begin the game. Sound is good, right, on your end? Everybody's got sound, they can hear the game? All the ambient office sounds, I should say. Awesome. All right. Well, let's jump in. The end is never the end is never the end. Oh, gosh.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right. 1 second here. Oops. Ah, what the? Wait, what? Okay, that was weird. OBS, like, all of a sudden had a bunch of things that were locked out before. Okay. Anyway, I think we're good there. Okay. Let's do it. I hate Mondays. Oof. The speed's a little quick. Field of view, camera sensitivity. I can bring that down, but the movement speed's pretty fast too. Huh. Yeah, he's like running. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it.
Oh my gosh.
I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Oh my gosh, and we're gonna do this now. Where's 417? Yeah, we're at 427. 41. Yeah, 417's like way far away. But anyway, things like this are what I was talking about as far as this game is concerned. And some of these things are going to be the same as the first one, and then there's a whole lot of new stuff on top of it. So it's not quite a sequel, but it's also not quite a DLC either, so... Anyway. Is there anything important on these computer screens? Because somehow I remember... Oh! Okay. So that one was on, so I can turn those off. Isn't there one over here? Ah, yes, this one. Okay. Oh, we'll keep seeing what happens here, right? Access. Okay. Space 419 and 418, but where are their doors? Are they over here, maybe? Ah, here's 417.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
I think 437 was back here, if I remember right. Right? Yes.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Oh my gosh. Now you're just gonna make me run around, dude? Why?
Now, back to door number 437.
Holy crap, dude. No. No, Mr. Narrator. Why? Why are you making me do this?
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
This way, right? Come on. Why is it? I know there's a jump button, isn't there? Let me double check the controls. Reset settings, data, oh, here we go, controls. Jump, space, yes. There's even crouch, okay. So... anything? Why can't I get up on the desk?
Yes!
There we go.
This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
There we go.
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
You don't have to yell at me. I'll get it. Not a problem. Chill, Mr. Narrator.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
I was thinking we should probably get back on track now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's play nice this run. Okay, so now...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I think these are the same ones. This looks like the same slides, yep. Okay. Oh, it's here. We have found it. The magical broom closet. What awaits us?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Why would I?
Nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
But it's comfy. And there's all sorts of fun stuff you can mess with.
Baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Doing sweet frick all. Yes.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Well, I'm not doing nothing. I'm checking out all this wonderful equipment and tools.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Except now you have, so now it is a big part of the story. Haha.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Yeah, nope.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Whoa now.
And he got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Wow. That was massively insulting. Why?
I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
No, I'm not.
Prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Jeez. Why? I wanna...
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Oh my gosh. Anyway. I think that might be the last line. Let's see. But anyway. Okay, so.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We'll play nice for this part. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast. Moony crisp. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. Is there anything on at this computer? No. Anything to mess around with? Phones, maybe? No, you see, can't go that way. Okay, we'll go mess with the lamp. Can't mess with the lamp. Can't mess with the phones. Alright. Anything new here?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Isn't there a special code for this one? Oh.
2845. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Okay. Here we go. The dark secret. Where's the elevator taking us this time? Loading and not the end is never the end? Wow.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Whoa. Okay, then.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Well, we'll listen this time. Aren't you gonna tell me to push the button, dude? No? Okay. Well, then I'll just push the button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
There we go. Elevator path. And where's the cameras? Okay, so that's the only button.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
2, 3, 4 is all messed up. What? Are there any other? Okay, there's no, like, secret Easter. 104 fired. 601 fired. Well, 420 isn't fired. Anyway, moving along.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, so 1, 2, right, and then 5 is back there. I always forget where 3 and 4 are. I think there's one up there, right? Oh, is there one over here? Which one are you? Okay, so you're 3. So 1, 2, 3, and 5, and then 4. I believe is up there. Wow, it's so dark. I can't see. Guess maybe I should turn the brightness up a little. Where? General? Where's the brightness? I know there's a brightness slider, right? Controls, audio, video. No. Huh. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to guess where the stairs are. Where are they? Okay, Okay, 1, 2, and then 3 was over here, right there. 3. That didn't give me anything, so how the heck? I see stairs kind of going. Oh, here we are. Is this it here? No. No, it's blocked. Oh, you couldn't even get up there if you wanted to. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, I guess... I thought there was a way to turn on lights in this one. Maybe that's the next part? Mind controls, idle, awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Okay.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so that's the standard stock ending. Now it's time to mix things up. Yes, we did a few little things along the way, but now we're gonna get into the craziness.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
All right, there. Now. There's one. And then I know that there are other computers throughout that will have that. Okay, so no, not here. Just gotta keep the eyes peeled for those throughout, and then we will do those ones too. So let's head over here, and then when we come to these doors, we'll take the door on the right.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Here we are.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
And then if we hang for just a little longer? I think there's a couple more lines.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Okay, I think there's like one more line, and then we'll move on.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Wow. So harsh. So cruel. Why? Why do you have to be
Stanley sat around
cruel?
waiting for more dialogue. But when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Again, breaking the fourth wall. Oh boy. Is that it? I think there might be one more line. If there's not, then I think we'll be moving on. Yes. Okay, moving
At
on.
last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
So we have a path there and a path here, but we're gonna start with this one.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Why? Why do you have to be so
Stanley, I
insulting?
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but
Here we go.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Okay, so then we'll do the same thing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, where is... Ah, there we go. Alright, there's number 2. Alright, let's go back and check the computers back here.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright, back to moving forward again. Here we go. And we're still going to keep playing opposite. We'll finish that
Stanley
new
came to a
destination.
set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
This is going to be
Wow.
quick.
Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
There we go.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So now we'll take this path all the way across.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Hey, Deathwish. Good to see you. How you doing?
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
What? You got called? Who? I don't see anybody in chat calling you a bully.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Alright, well, let's see. We'll play this along this time. The next time we'll go a different door.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Let's pet his ego this time.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
First, good old Neil. I wonder if those are all playtesters. Oh my gosh. You are okay. 9,328. Stanley 427 is online. You're the objectively ranked 9,328th out of 9,000. You're at the very bottom, basically. Do you know that? A quarter. Most players are more attractive than Stanley. Oh my gosh. A dead rat is your superior. Oh, wow. Gosh. Oh boy. So does this just repeat the loop now? Okay. That's funny. I guess go through the third door again?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Let's just keep petting his ego this time.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh gosh, this part. That sound is so loud. Wow, the baby really has to get, like, deep into the fire.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Right. Oh boy. I think it's a Minecraft, right? Oh no, it's not. Oh wow.
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's
It's
our
Firewatch.
story? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley, and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
By the way, I will do my own playthrough of Firewatch at some point too. What the? Is that a gunshot? Oh, whoops, I went the wrong way. Let's turn us back around here. This game's got an interesting art style too.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
What?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
What?
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably
No, I like
something
this
with
game.
walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
No.
Oh,
I wanted to play more.
I think this will be just the thing.
You're a mean narrator. Rocket League.
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run
Thanks,
the bases
Zombie.
and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Thanks for the heads up, Zombie. Whoops. Oh, get in the goal. Where are you going? Where are you going?
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Yes, it
Stanley,
is.
I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball. Yes! Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
Where's the one going in the goal? There. Get it, 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 get it. There.
Are you enjoying this, Stan? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right.
You
Your little
suck.
fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. Hold on. What are you doing?
Ah.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Now what? I remember this last time. This was the area where it got so dark that you guys couldn't see anything on your end, and I could barely see anything on mine. So, what do we have here? Even though there were lights here, there's nothing you can do there. Whoa.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
What? Wait, can I move around now? No, that's what I thought. It's just another ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Do we have another input computer somewhere? No. What? Okay, maybe if we turn some off? Did we detour it by trying to do too many different endings at once? Oh well, let's just take the door on the right again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, we will go...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
We'll do the red door this time.
You've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why?
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Alright, fine.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Okay. Which door do we take? Any door?
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here.
Oh, this one.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Okay, and then there's...
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Okay.
Oh! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
And we...
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Fine. One time and one time only. And then we reset this. Because this just goes on forever.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
As pretty as it does look. We going. Bye-bye.
No, perhaps not.
No, I don't want to sit there for hours on end and stare at the dots. I want to get other endings and see more new content. We've barely tapped into it.
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Not killing myself.
The situation correctly?
Nope, I'm just trying to get this game to reset so we can keep moving on. Because there's more to see.
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Okay, we're almost to where we can reset so we can go to the next ending. So we don't take the red door this time.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Yes, finally. Now we can go to the next stuff. I want to get to the new stuff.
Hello.
Ah, there we go.
This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
I think that one was new. I don't remember that one. Is there... Okay, got it. We still do the door on the right.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there. Just a kind of, tingle. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh. Not yet.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Here we go.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I'm trying to pick it up. There we go.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
Jeez.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
No.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Wow.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press J on your keyboard. Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Okay.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
You to prepare dinner. So, yeah, but there's nothing going on here.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
V to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
So I'll tell your wife you love her, of course.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press F to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press K to be at work in the morning. You actually gonna let anything happen, or do I just have to sit here until I give up and press it because there's nothing else the game's gonna let me do anyway? Yep. So, yeah.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press X to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Oh my gosh.
And I tried.
So we got that ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
All right. So we still have some more to do on the right here.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep.
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly love. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so then we have, if we go that way, that's the way. We did that one, so now we go this way, yes.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
And now we're going to take this one. There we go.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
You're going to shut the door in my face again?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh,
Let's
gosh.
see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Easter egg nod to Contra code.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, now I can't interact with it? Oh, there it goes. I was gonna say. That was weird. You? No, you? Then... There we go.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay. Is this gonna be repeating?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nope. Okay, got those ones. Now.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
We can't go through any of the other doors, so I don't know what he's expecting, but...
Aha! I knew we
What?
missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what?
Oh, no.
Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win, Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Here we go.
All right,
Oh boy.
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Trademarked line. Okay. Can we drive him crazy?
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Which means I have to go back now, and now we're doing this craziness.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
That's about right.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay, got it.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
So we blindly followed that?
Stanley, I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Something...
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Hold on, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
And now he's gonna forget about everything. I think this actually follows that script still.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
We'll know if we're still in that ending, because eventually we'll get blocked off here. New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Yay! We finally got there. This part is actually new.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Are we going somewhere?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Oh boy.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
It's the door behind us, isn't it? Yep, okay. There we go.
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
I told you, zombie. You can jump. But you can only jump in the jump circle.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Let's go look and find out.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Okay.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks, just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, okay. This is definitely not it. This is new. Yay! More new content.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
That's pretty sus. Is this back to...
You don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Wow, back with the insults, eh? Jeez. Okay, now where are we going? Is this actually a restart? Or a loading screen?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Okay. Pretty archway.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Don't forget the Stanley Parable. Zone, sweet zone.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Oh, that's the initial ending. Collector's edition. Is this supposed to be this is like a old 90s PC program box. Gosh. Memories. Audience Award. 2014 Independent Games Festival. Is there really an indie game festival? I wonder if it's still around. That'd be cool. British Academy of Film and Television Arts awarded to Stanley Parable. What does it say underneath it though? Something Strally, The Last of Us in the category story. What else we got here? Our First Kiss, My First Car, the release of Stanley Parable. Jeez. A clock that says 2013. I remember the Memory Zone temp. It's cute though. Anything else in here before we move on? Be My Valentine. The original remake? What? Firefox page on Windows 7. Linguists identify 15,000-year-old ultra-conserved words. The Washington Post researchers identified 24 words whose sound and meaning have survived the past 15,000 years. 6 component of a great corporate culture. John Coleman, Harvard Business Review. Business bloggers at Harvard Business Review discuss a variety of business topics, including managing people, innovation, leadership, and more. Interesting. Good times. A trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. Bits of music. Is this supposed to be a CD album? Oh my gosh. Yes, of course. Their first dollar. Interesting. The Stanley Parable demonstration. Unbelievable. It is impossible to get, or unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. British Academy of Film and Television Arts Development Team nominee, British Academy Awards, Stanley Parable, Game Innovation, British Academy Game Awards, 12th March 2014. That was for Game Innovation, debut game, story. New York Times. I really doubt this is actually from the New York Times, but that's cute that they made a little thing. All the news that's fit to print. Is this actual stuff? Creators surprisingly down to earth. Yeah, I can't really tell what it says anyway. Los Angeles Times. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Oh gosh. In loving memory, Little Stanley.
Je suis dans la mémorisation, seul sur l'abri des loups, et je n'attends plus que toi.
I can't actually go on the bench.
C'est là, dans la mémorisation.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing.
It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Okay, so Fantastic Arcade 2013 official selection, IGF 2013 grand prize, honorable mention. Indiecade 2012 special recognition winner. How did it win in 2012 if it came out in 2013? That makes no sense. IGF 23 narrative excellence. ModDB 2012 interaction award. Big Sushi.fm best of PAX 2013 winner. Design Museum Design of the Year nominee. IGF 2013 Nuovo Award honorable mention. Okay. Don't read any reviews except this one. How do you review a game like the Stanley Parable? To describe any one part of it is to risk its ruination. To detail what it has to say about game design, the illusion of choice, and the psychology of the gamer is to tell you too much. Comparisons to are going to be woefully inadequate. Perhaps its closest cousin would be Dear Esther, but where Dear Esther wastes the form of interactive entertainment, Stanley Parable uses and then subverts it. Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Even so, holding the game to the standards of any other title is simply not going to be correct. So how do you review what has become known as the Stanley Parable HD, the full-scale reimagining of one of the most intriguing mods available online? How do you discuss it, analyze it, and recommend it? That's quite simple. You don't. What? "10 out of 10, flawless victory. Games rated 10 aren't perfect since nothing is, but they come as close as you could get in a given genre. The new must-have game in its sector. We're talking pure ecstasy. Check out more reviews or the Destructoid score guide." Okay. Memory zone maintenance. Fire. Okay. More screenshots of the game. The tasteful, nostalgic, it was good. Menu screen. Buttons. Person of the year. It's just a game editing thing. Screenshot. The end is never the end. Oh gosh. Red door, blue door. Made up vintage. Game merchandising.
Here's another moving
Carpet
passage,
texture?
this
What?
time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
GameSpot. I have always been someone who wants to go the wrong way first in games when I sense that a game is trying to usher me down a particular path. To get me to run from left to right, or maybe to charge straight ahead, I need to satisfy my instinct to go against the grain, to explore, to see what the designers have put back the other way. Sometimes I find a one-up or a collectible stashed away to reward me for my intrepid behavior. At other times, my explorations are rewarded only by the crushing disappointment of running up against an invisible wall. Whatever I find or don't find, my action is a manifestation of my desire to exert some independence, to make my own choices within a system that severely limits my options and encourages certain specific behaviors. Welcome back, employee 432 TSP. I like the username, by the way, that it's a Stanley Parable reference. Oh, this is a review, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, the Stanley Parable feels alive in its responsiveness to your choices and its desire to subvert your expectations and keep you on your toes. I think the Stanley Parable as a sort of video game analog for Charlie Kaufman and Spike Jonze's brilliant film adaptation, which gently mocked the ways in which so many films manipulate audiences with formulaic plot twists and situations in which characters learn huge life lessons while simultaneously moving me with its formulaic plot twists and situations in which characters learned huge life lessons. Isn't that the... It's the same thing twice. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and in other systems too, like our workplaces and our family, and a game that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. Going the wrong way never felt so right. Thanks for the redeem. 432. Well, I have to go for all the endings I can get because we are streaming this, so source SDK. Wait, there's nothing here. Where do we? Oh, that's the door. The greatest wealth is
These were
memory.
simpler times, Stanley.
Wait, what?
What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Gives war flashbacks? Where's Scott K? The maintenance store. Okay.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Yeah, I love that part. Unfunny.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Oh, is that a whole thing? Is there actually, like, content in the game that refers to Employee 432? Because I don't think I've ever gotten anything on that. I thought it was just a random nod to Stanley Parable.
What's this one got to say?
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
So, is it in both the original and deluxe, or is it only in one of them? Because I've never seen it, so I'm curious to check it out if there's actually like content there. That would be fun to see something new other than the average
And
stuff.
here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's... Well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort or a window. Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you...
What's gonna happen next?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one in...
Is he even there? Did we finally get him to stop? Anything? Anything? Nope. I thought he was actually going to say something this time. Is it the fire alarm or a security camera, I wonder? Huh. Please no. Please no. I can't handle that. God, that hurts my ears. There we go.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the
How
jokes?
is he
They
back?
bemoaned, they screamed, they
He's gone
gnashed
and then
their
he's back.
teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's...
Unlearn. Yeah, I'll have to look into that more.
The end is never the end, 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 is never
Oh my gosh.
is never the end, 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 is never
Yeah,
the
okay, so that's just, it is on a loop, okay. Anything happening here? Come on. Please. Oh? I hear elements. Maybe it'll break down and give us a way out? Ooh? Okay, yes. My theory was right. Aha. Almost. Is there more of it that can break down so we can get out of here? Okay. And now there's nothing again. Dang it. How are we ever supposed to get out of this? Narrator reminds you of yourself. Hmm. Ah, here we go, finally. A way out. And now there's nothing? Oh, great. Does the narrator remind you of yourself because you're from the UK, or because you have the ability to monologue and not realize you go on for too long at points? No judgment, by the way, on that. Everybody's unique and different. We all have our quirks. We finally made it back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It's on, like... It was almost every computer screen. Oh my gosh, is it gonna be that way with the next one too? Okay, well that was normal. It's just the normal computers that are on? No, there's extras. I see them. Oh my gosh, that's funny. New content? Will it work after the game resets? Wait a minute. We're back. 4 3 4 4 3 1 4 3 3 4 3 2. The pencil sharpener. Yeah, I've noticed it was just the pencil sharpener, but
Stanley
I didn't
went
notice.
around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I thought it was just leftover parts from somebody who had already left. Is there something to get the narrator to explain more, or? Pencil sharpening was the job. I mean, hey, I am all for simple jobs that still bring home enough to keep you going so that you can enjoy your life outside of work. If it's what you gotta do to pay the bills, at least you know it's pretty difficult to mess that one up, so.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
There's new stuff? More new stuff? Okay.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
2 in a bunch of different languages. Taste the sequel. Wait, but why is it soda? Wouldn't that be like a knockoff of Skittles, Taste the Rainbow? I don't remember that being a slogan for soda company.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much
Investor
catchier than
showcase.
Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
More Stanley Parable, better the Stanley Parable, win-win. Sequential mindshare, paradigm shift synergy, brick and mortar approach. Envelope, client-centric marketing, the color red. Leverage, holistic value. Excuse me. Still kind of got some little lingering parts of COVID. New content is out. Part 2 is in. Bringing boring sections of the chart. Cool red section of the chart. New hotness. Old and busted. They're back 2 doors. Oh gosh. New mug. Logo ideas. Oh, I see. It was the Roman numeral 2. Got it. Stanley Parable with the. That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Okay. Scrum, design pitch, break, pitch design, number 2 chat. Valued investors this way to show floor, isn't it? The showroom floor, but okay. Private screen testing. Is that a bus? New features. It is a bus. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait. Oh, there's a... You gotta follow the dividers. Stanley Parable too. Wow. This place is huge. Okay, we're locked in.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay. Merch. Office decorations, reassurance back at the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. The exclusive, the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Got it. No screenshots. Red is the new orange. Oh my gosh. Baby is all grown up. The new updated ray traced, more of the same, but in a good way, sequel to consistent quality with just the right amount of change. Jump circle, infinite hole. Okay, well, let's go check the button real quick, and then we'll be back over this way.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Okay. So what are you gonna say?
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Oh my gosh.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Okay.
Jim. Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Jim. Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we can go back now and check out the other stuff. I mean, in some ways, this is how, like,
I suppose I could
new
allow only
content would
people
be.
named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Oh gosh, we're not doing that again.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay, is that part of a... Wait, what? He moved. I swear he moved. Oh, it's rotating. I was like, what? No screenshots. Okay,
I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version,
I see.
the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday. Happy 12th birthday, step niece. Oh jeez. Sure.
You know,
Sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get well someday it is.
Oh my gosh.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
New and easy achievement. Interesting. Okay, so what else we got over here? Time, depth. Oh gosh. Oh, like infinity, what? Opening, rim, surrounding area, depth, infinite. It's a black hole. Infinity hole chart. Doesn't that look like there's a bottom to it? It just keeps going. Put out hit.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Okay, you know what? Really quickly, so we've been going for a bit here. Okay. Whoops. There. Okay. Nope. There we go. Oh, you meant to just say pit. Got it. Okay. So now we're gonna be stuck here forever, right?
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Press G to return to the surface.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Why? Isn't it an infinite hole? Won't that light get smaller and smaller?
I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
What?
It's a very, very deep hole. To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
Are you trying to gaslight me?
Then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
I met 432 before you joined. Are you invisible? I mean, I played the first Stanley Parable, but I hadn't actually played this one yet. All right.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
432 is not the narrator. Are you the one that put the commentary about the dialogue before the clock thing when you boot into the game for the second time? Is that 432?
Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there, goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Demon! Hey! How you doing? Did you make it out of school finally? By the way, 432. That's cool. Yeah, I'm pretty big on puzzle solving.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Ah. Cool to know. I'm glad you made it home safe, sis.
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Cool, thank you for letting me know, 432. I'll definitely check that out.
Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
Oh, you can't. Wait, oh, can you?
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
What?
Is the, teleport button not working? You sure?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Oh my gosh. Please tell me that there's gonna be a reset or a way out of this, and I'm not gonna be stuck here for like a long time. Or do I have to actually reset this now? No. So now you put music in just to make that way. It's going down again? What? F to change your perspective. Oh gosh. You can't push anything else, you have to just press that button. Wait, now it's going back to some of the same ones. The G button's supposed to be bugged? Is that what they're trying to insinuate here? Oh gosh. H, change your reality. What does that do? Puppies. Aw, cute puppies. Space. J, change yourself. Oh gosh. Oops, I gotta change the perspective so I can actually see out here, huh? Oh boy.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Toodle-pip. Oh gosh. Is there a other? This is freaking hilarious. Well, 432, either you are a hugely dedicated fan to this franchise,
Here we are.
or
Come on, try out some of the new features.
or you actually might have worked on the game. But I'm guessing you're probably just a really big fan. Dedicated fan. Figured. Well, either way, thank you, because I love puzzles, I love Easter eggs. That's why I think I really enjoy both the first one and this one. I like pushing the mind and thinking about the unknown, and this game does that so well. Jump circle, this map, free achievement is Q. K is the infinite hole. Wait, what? Wait, so it's... Okay, so the A9 would be the statue thingy, right? Okay, so if that's A9, so then it's off to that corner. Oh, here we go. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement. No more steps. Get yours right now. Oh my gosh.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I still had jumps left.
Stanley, I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Okay, so other than... I think we've got... What else we got left here? This is the... Is that the... Is that this? Settings World Champion. Office decorations. And this jump circle. This, where again? So that's the jump circle. It's all connected to the jump circle. Wait, what? Here? Oh, okay, I think it's here, right? That's it. Settings World Champion. Got it. Okay, it's just a door. Hey, you never know, 432. Maybe they'll actually bring you on if they ever decide to make another one. Okay, so that's tied to that area. Alright, well, let's keep moving on because I know there's some left, but not a ton left. I've also got a wrap up stream here in a bit. And you find them, collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines.
Oh.
And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
What?
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for the redeem, 432. Oh, okay. That's cute. Okay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
No, this is not where I wanted to go. There's one other spot, right? Where was it? Oh, there's an exit? Oh, that's blocked. Okay. Yeah, okay. It is blocked. Okay. All right. Well, we will see now what is all about this reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Okay.
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay. But now where do I go? Oh, okay, it did open. I just had to wait for the monologue to finish.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Well, now we've got the bucket. My bucket. You can't have it. It's mine. Bucket is my best friend. Bucket and I are going to live out our lives happily forever and ever and ever. Oh, there is an exit. Okay. Let's go, Bucket. Let's go find the exit. I love the art. It is really cool.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yes. As long as we get to keep Bucket, everything will be fine. Right, Bucket? Bucket says yes. Wait, what the?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, is that everything? All in one spot?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Nice. Clean, simple aesthetic. Nice music. Every time you go back to settings and come back, it gets bigger. It is, isn't it? It's not just me, right? Or is it changing? Let's see here. Okay, it did for a minute, but now... Okay, well, let's go back in here.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Wait. But where's my bucket? Bucket? Where did you go, bucket? I need my bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Well, that was really nice that they gave you a balloon for your lamp. Okay. I mean, I guess some of the desks are similar. Some have phones, some don't. Wait, but what about them? They have a #1 dad mug and a pencil sharpener. And they have a pencil sharpener too. How the mighty have fallen. Interesting. Okay, computers. Oh, bucket!
Stanley picked up the
bucket! Yes! And everything is better because I got my bucket. How I missed you, bucket. Yay, now everything's fine with my bucket.
He clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Okay.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Sure. I'll get to it when I can. Between
being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley
between
reflected on
him.
all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Why was the fuck
Stanley
wrong?
took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
We were just chilling for a minute. Didn't mean we had to stay there. Jeez, narrator. Do we go through this with Bucket now, or do we just listen to the narrator? Maybe it would be better with the bucket. I don't know. Let's just try and do this.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Broom closet's gone, right? Welcome back, Demon. I didn't realize you were leaving.
Still no
You
one
didn't
was
say
here.
bye.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Ah, okay. Yay!
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend.
That's right, not yours.
Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
Are you crazy?
Something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Seriously, narrator. Seriously.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see?
Okay.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Okay, narrator, what are you trying to do?
Take the name calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Jeez. Is he gone? Is he finally gone? Yay! Narrator is gone. He finally left the closet and he can let me be with my bucket. By the way, welcome home, zombie. Hey, how's it going? Okay. Well, I think there's nothing more to be said here, so let's go. But I do feel bad for you, Bucket, that he put those stickers on you without consent. What a jerk. Well.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No! We never did this one anyway, so we have to go down here anyhow. Are you insulting my bucket, zombie? What? How dare you? Don't you insult my bucket. Never insult the bucket. What's up with the shimmering sound? It's a...
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh, I know. Zombie's the one that said not the bucket. That had nothing to do with you, demon. Hi, Kimmy. Hey, thank you for the hydrate redeem. No, zombie, don't start that now. Come on.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange.
What?
Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly
What
wrong.
are you
Surely
talking
no
about?
good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating.
Seriously.
It was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What was that?
This is a story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
What? What's going on? Why am I back here without my bucket? This isn't okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
But where is my bucket? I must find my bucket. I cannot live without my bucket. How am I to ever successfully cast a spell without my bucket? Figurine Finders Committee meeting today in the meeting room. Bucket! There you are!
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Yay! I found my bucket. Everything is good in the world. Everything is right again. I am so happy I found you, Bucket. Let us continue our journey, shall we? Find me a zombie. Thank you for the gift sub to Demon 511637.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Your generosity will be greatly honored in the halls of history. Now, onward. Where shall we go, Bucket? What is this you say? We shall continue on to the right? Onward we go.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Well, of course it is.
It was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
And now I can stretch, courtesy of Find Me a Zombie. Oh, much better.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
I hope you do not mean to
Perhaps
insult my bucket.
Where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
What is this? What blasphemy are you saying, narrator? How dare
Stanley
you?
decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection. But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
The bucket is my friend. How dare you? Do not insult my bucket. Where shall we go now? Onward, you say? Then shall we go?
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should
Quit
have alarmed
speaking for my
because
bucket,
buckets can't talk.
narrator.
Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
See? You do not decide what the bucket shall speak. Only I do. You don't hear the bucket. Only I hear the bucket. Shall we, bucket? Forget this, narrator. We will go on our own adventure.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which,
What?
if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Seriously now. Can we find another way? He continues to insult you. Why would he ever act this way? Do not like this narrator. I do not like him at all. Should we still go anyway, Bucket? What do you say? All right then.
Now then, I'm going to run you
What?
through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Well, of course it's a bucket. It's not my bucket, but it is a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What? What sorcery is
Item
this?
2. Is this a bucket?
Yes, of course it's a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
You're really starting to anger me, narrator.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Of course it's a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No, of course not.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
But somehow I'm an idiot? How dare you?
Is this a bucket?
No, it's not a bucket.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What? You're insane.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes, of course it's a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What? I don't understand this at all.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
You're an idiot. Can we escape, Bucket? Where shall we go? Let us escape. We cannot leave this pedestal. What? No. Must we hit a button? Well, there's no bucket, so...
Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you...
You are a fool, narrator. Of course you're a fool.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Of course
Stanley,
not, you fool.
This. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm
what?
Sorry.
No.
I'm going to erase all from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
No, you shall not.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue. But it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what. I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll
Sounds
know
good.
that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Okay. Where are we? Wait. What? This is new. Bucket! There you are.
And the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We have one more mission, you say? Okay. Very well.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the
Stop
lift all the way
speaking
to the
on
top.
behalf of the
There's something
bucket,
up
you
there I
fool.
need you to do.
Stanley did not question.
You're angering me again.
Speaking to him. It should
Stop
have not,
now.
of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Quit insulting my bucket.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Ah, home sweet home. There you are, bucket. Press O to take me to work with you. Very well.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press C to take me back home with you. Very well. Why not? And hello, 432.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Press K to go back to work. Very well.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Anything at all? Are you a fool? You must be a fool. But we were already sure of this. Press F for us to go back home. Very well.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press V to ignore anyone in your life except for me. Well then. Very well.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press V to go back home. Why are we going back and forth so frequently? Unsure, but very well.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press C to relive this same day with me over and over. I know I must press this button to advance, but at the same time I do not agree.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's So much more than just a regular bucket. Oh no. I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it.
No.
Give it to me now.
Never.
Give it, or I'll...
No. Well, you'll what? Go back to work. What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Warmth
There you
spread
are.
through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. This has been a fairly long stream.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So we have one more with the door on the right, and then we'll do the regular ending.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Almost done.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
There we go. Okay. Well, we're wrapping this up.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
It must have already run through the ad. Okay. Whoa. The broom closet.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, we can do it with the buckets, though. Right?
Whee!
By the way, is this an intervention?
That wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yay!
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
You jerk.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
What?
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True,
No.
it also was not in the original game.
No.
It's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. You're a jerk.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
No. Just no.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Finally. Yay, we're done with that. Getting close to the end now, finally. Thank goodness. Okay.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
New dialogue. Okay.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
There we go. Okay. Let's get this ending. Yeah, I haven't seen one in a while. Large room, lots of boxes. Some are both red and blue. Nearby a fireplace. Yeah, okay, so I know that. Large room, lots of boxes. What's the room with the boxes? Or is it in the broom closet?
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Right. Yes.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Stanlerine? YVL. I thought there was a fireplace in here, wasn't there?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
There we go.
Back to the name of these little Stanley figurines. And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Alright, well, we're nearing the end of this. I did forget about the figurines, so we may have to get to them as well. Red and blue doors. That was... yes. There's a few spots that I thought we were already going to that we never got to.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the
here we go.
red mind control facility.
This is where we get some more stuff. Okay. We haven't actually done this at all yet.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Welcome back, Demon. Another meeting with the professor.
Door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Alright, let's play this. I believe you can go all the way to the end and it never closes the door on you. Right? Or did it lock me out this time? I thought you could go back. No? Oh no, okay, it did go back, okay.
But of course, Stanley and the bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
Nope. It's death for Stanley and the bucket.
Okay, it's not gonna do it this way. Got it. Alright. Well, Bucket, we're getting close to the end of this game. I have to say, there's been a lot of new content. Like, this is a lot longer than the first one was, at least it feels like it. Oh, nice. Enjoy. Whoa. The only reason I even really decided to do this one at all was because I thought we had another figurine achievement here.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
Hey now!
It puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Oh. No, no, no. Okay.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, But this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are now standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. The human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void, but through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind that what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were in ignorance and darkness? Okay.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another and for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. Oh my gosh. Okay, 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. And yeah, there's a lot more than 25 there. That's funny. A bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death for just attempting it. Oh my gosh. And then, rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Okay. Vulnerability, the size and strength of the bucket, coping strategies holds. Stress, the level of water in the bucket. Okay, got it. Presented without commentary. Oh gosh. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This is our distance. Inevitability is for our own good. Okay. Oh, it's the infinity hole. What? How can I grab that and not fall?
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Fine.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Well, I guess I can't take the bucket with me to get everything, which
When
sucks.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Nope.
It was
Blah,
okay.
blah, blah. There we go.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Here we go.
Look, Stanley,
So I guess now we can do this?
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
You're getting
There we go.
close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one. And then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them. And now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
And I think maybe we can actually take the bucket with
that's
us this
where everyone
time.
would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfect. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
So...
No,
I see it.
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The car.
It's over there.
Yes, go
So there's
there.
a way...
Go to the cargo lift.
How do I get to the... There we go. This way. Ah. Okay. I didn't even know you could do this before. Maybe it was only for this figurine.
The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
There we are. And then... It's still too high if we go this way, so I guess we go through this crawl space over here. Don't know where it leads. Huh. And more entirely new stuff. Okay, a door we can't access that way. Where does this go? I've never been here before. All these cassette tapes. Okay. That was a new ending too. Awesome.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore.
What?
The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What? This game is awesome. It makes you think a lot. There's a lot of hilarious moments. You get to do some things outside the box. It's just a great game. So for those of you who want to join the pack and be able to participate in awesome fun like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to join us live in stream and in chat, head on over to twitch.tv/Aldonis. We stream Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9:30 Pacific time. And if you want to be more involved in the pack, check us out on Discord. The link will be in the description. Thank you for keeping up with the pack. We love you all, and we'll see you in the next Howsome adventure. Bye-bye, guys. Bye, YouTubers.